I say so many times, tomorrow is never promised, but that doesn't mean that we make irresponsible decisions now that affect us later in the future when we're not dead. Lotto was talking about, you know, brokey, you gotta wait till your birthday to go out of town. I don't. You know why? Because I properly save money.
No such thing as a life that's better than yours. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. No such thing, no such thing.
Jamba everyone, welcome back, and in today's video, let's talk about financial literacy. No, I'm just kidding, but not really. If you couldn't tell by the title of the video, and probably the reason why you clicked on this video, is you want to hear my opinions on debt, and if you should buy something or if you shouldn't. Especially when I'm saying if you can't afford it, you shouldn't be buying it. That is something that is so important, and lately I've been watching a plethora of financial videos, more specifically Caleb Hammer, JJ Buckner, and then Zach Royce. I think that's how you say it. But watching those videos, and obviously they have the TikToks on the side and everything like that. I'm gonna link their channels down below. But regarding that situation and why I wanted to film this video in the first place is because I am very, very technical when it comes to money. I know some people don't believe in astrology, but I'm a Capricorn, so y'all know we're about our money like that. We do not play. And I think especially the biggest thing for me is knowing how to properly budget my money in order to do the things that I love. So without me rambling too much, let's actually get started within this video. Like I said, the reason why I even wanted to make this video in the first place was because of all the financial videos I've been watching. And it also seems like overconsumption and credit card debt has become a little bit too normalized. I see a lot of people on TikTok talking about how they're $10,000 in debt, $20,000 in debt. And I'm just like, couldn't be me. Couldn't be me, y'all, because even with school, like I rebuked and refused to take out any loans. And I'm so grateful that I did because I got scholarships, because I just worked at work and then just used whatever extra money that I had and put it immediately towards school. Obviously, there were certain unforeseeable things that have happened to me, aka I had to get a whole new car, and we'll talk about that later, about new cars versus old used cars and buying things that you can't afford, and also car payments. Oh, my heart. But also just like, with me personally, I feel like I have been able to manage my money very well, especially since I started cash stuffing. And again, I'll talk about that a little bit later in the video. But just doing these little habits has really helped me become better at budgeting in a sense. But yeah, just like with watching all the videos and even people like having the confessions of how much money they have spent, I am like, y'all, this debt is going to follow you for the rest of your life. I hope you know that. Like I said though, not being in debt, especially when it came to student loans, was the biggest promise I made to myself. And even on my vision board, I have a full ride scholarship to any school that I want. Especially with transferring schools and going from a public university to a private university, that price ain't cheap, okay? My tuition is like $51,000 a year, and with doing everything that I've done, I have been able to get academic scholarships, my other scholarship that I've had since, you know, being at my other school and it transferring over to this school, other private scholarships that I've gotten. I remember I even got one scholarship that literally was a message from the universe because I had been struggling and not knowing what to do, how I was gonna pay for it. The universe was like, here you go, and gave me a scholarship that basically paid for my school, and all I had to pay for the rest of the fall semester was $26, which I also paid off, and now I don't have to pay the school anything for at least this semester. And the next semester I know I'm good because I'm gonna work, find more scholarships, and then next year I'm also gonna continue finding more scholarships to be able to graduate debt free. And I want that to be a flex because I know people who are thousands and thousands of dollars in debt, and debt scares me. Like, I know I pay all my bills on time, not the internet sometimes because, you know, that's fine. But other than that, car payment, car insurance, those are things I don't play with. And watching these videos and just seeing that people are like, oh, I bought this and I didn't even really want it, or I just bought it because I was sad at the time. Baby girl, we're different. Because when I'm sad, my mindset isn't, oh, let me go spend money I don't have. What? When I'm sad, I'm like, let me rot in bed and just doom scroll. That is my definition of being sad. But people are really out here putting themselves into debt, more specifically credit card debt, because they don't know about interest. What's interest, you may ask? especially for all my young people watching this who don't have a credit card yet, hold off on getting a credit card until you are financially literate enough to understand what goes into getting a credit card. This is how a lot of people get into debt in the first place. They get a credit card, they think it's free money, they have a spending limit, then they max out their credit card. I don't understand. Credit cards are not free money. This is me personally. When I get a credit card, I'm going to be using it like a debit card. If I don't have the money, I'm not using my credit card. Unless, more specifically, it's an emergency. But then again, with the habits that I choose to start doing for myself, a little bit later down the line, once I have that extra money to spend, I'm gonna start creating an emergency fund. I want to have a high yield savings account. We're gonna talk about all that later. But then again, watching the way people irresponsibly spend money, it's no surprise that us as a country is over $3 trillion in debt. Can we be surprised? No. So basically the whole reason why I wanted, again, to film this video was more specifically this woman who had $400,000 worth of debt. Oh my God, watching that video gave me anxiety. She had card after card after card after card. Majority of the cards were maxed out. I don't understand. And obviously it's understandable that people who aren't financially literate, but then at the same time that she makes a good amount of money. So it's obviously a reason why she got those cards and qualified for it. But again, people can be making so much money and don't know what to do with it. They go out and spend it instead of saving for later on. I'm so sick of the mindset of we could die tomorrow. Why just buy it? You never know, but you're still here. I say so many times tomorrow is never promised, but that doesn't mean that we make irresponsible decisions now that affect us later in the future when we're not dead. How about that? I genuinely think that people need to learn what delayed gratification is, because delayed gratification is almost even better than instant gratification. And I say that because it almost seems like nobody wants to live below their means. Y'all will see me wearing the same things over and over again. The only real clothing that I buy for myself is merch when I go to concerts, and I want to remember the moment, especially going to a concert. So a lot of the times you'll see me wearing my Flo Milli merch. That's like the main merch I have. Just like other merch that I have, but then again, I genuinely buy all my t-shirts, especially for the gym, at Five Below, Walmart. I love thrifting. I almost prefer thrifting over just going to the store alone, because thrifting is like a little game. And it's also whenever I go thrifting, I find a lot more, especially when you go to the bins, I find a lot more for cheaper than what I would have gotten going to a retail store. I could probably redo my entire closet at the thrift store for probably $200 at the bins, more specifically. What I'm saying is that it is possible to live below your means. Everybody just wants to flex. Everybody just wants to flex. Let's be real. Y'all see me going on vacations and, getting tattoos and all this other stuff. Baby girl, I saved up for months on end. And I've said this before in my Aruba video. I didn't just plan to go to Aruba on a whim. I had been saving from February all the way until July. And that's just with putting $50 in here, $100. When I had the extra money, it would go towards that. But that's what I'm saying is me being frugal, me knowing what expenses that I need to buy gas, I need to buy groceries, all my expenses are paid for. If I want to go on a vacation, I'm going to save up for that vacation and pay it in full. A lot of y'all can't say that. You know when Lotto was talking about, brokey, you gotta wait till your birthday to go out of town? I don't. You know why? Because I properly save money. But then a lot of y'all, I'm just talking to the people with credit card debt, we want to flex so hard that we're willing to go into debt to flex on Instagram. And I'm not willing to do that. I won't post for months on end because I'm grinding right now. It's grinding season. Okay, I'm making my money now. I'm going to the gym now. Obviously, I've been going to the gym. But I'm doing all these things now, so then when summer comes and I have more time and I have the capability of actually being able to pay for these things, it's not going to stress me out because I've been saving. And that is exactly what delayed gratification is. I can make a whole YouTube video about it, and I probably will. But this is just the simplest version of it. Nobody knows what delayed gratification is anymore. We're just willing to take out credit cards with hella high interest rates. Seeing those interest rates made me scared to get a credit card because of how high the interest is. And that is exactly why I'm saying when I get a credit card, I am paying the balance in full every single month. There will not be no balances left on a credit card that I get because I'm not playing that. I'm treating a credit card like a debit card, and that's what a lot of people need to start doing. If you don't have the money, you don't need to be buying it. Okay, so I'm going to be vulnerable and tell a little bit of my story and something that I'm willing to work through in order to, you know, pave the way for me to be able to properly be financially free by the age of like 23, 24. This next year, 2025, I'm going to be focusing on my investments heavily. And I'm so incredibly grateful that I'm having the opportunity for someone to help me with rent. And I'll go into a little bit of that later on within, you know, once it actually happens. But just to say it in plain terms, I am finally getting help with some rent, you know. I'll have that extra money to be able to spend each month, and with that money, I plan on investing it into a high yield savings account, Roth IRA, all that. We'll go into that later. And, you know, saving for tattoos and vacations as well on the side, okay? But back in 2022, I was going through a different insurance company. I just couldn't afford to pay damn near $400 of insurance for a 2008 Nissan Sentra. That makes no fucking sense. I get that I was alone. I get that I had a speeding ticket, but $400 for a car that I had no car payment on is insane. Actually, I had a little bit of a car payment on it. It was only like $237 because I had to refinance it. But that was, actually, no, I lied. My car payments, so after I refinanced my car because I had just gotten a job at Cheesecake Factory and I needed to pay bills for that month because I was training for a month. If you don't anything about Cheesecake Factory, that training process is grueling, okay? But not to get too deep in it, I had to refinance my car to get a $1,300 loan, which I paid off. I never had a late payment, and that's one thing nobody can ever say about me is my payment history. My payment history is 100% never missed a payment, always on time, especially when it comes to cars and, you know, bank shit. I don't play. Okay, so back in 2022, I got something put in collections because of car insurance, aka Allstate. They tried to this woman was being I guess predatory on the phone and was trying to tell me how great this deal is and pay by the mile. No, that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. Don't ever do that. And they basically said, yeah, you owe us $700. I said, that's my fucking rent. Y'all are not getting that money from me. They sent it to collections and it's been in collections since then. I tried to do all the TikTok jargon on trying to make it so I could get out of this in some type of way. Y'all, I'm just gonna pay my collections. Okay, I'm gonna be like, I have $300, take it or leave it. Because at the end of the day, collection companies want their money, and if you're willing to pay at least something, they'll wipe it from your record. So that one thing in my collections is what is preventing me from getting a credit card, because I don't want to be declined for it. And even my bank, my bank specifically told me that is the main reason why they couldn't help me finance my car is because I have that one thing in collections, and it's $700. Mind you, there's people out there with fucking thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in debt alone, yet they're still qualified and able to get these fucking credit cards. I don't understand. Fast forward to getting my new car. Because of that one thing in my collections, all of the banks except one denied my ass. But I'm grateful for not having a super outrageous car payment, but my car payment is still super fucking high, which is why I plan on paying my car off. I'm not playing around. I plan on paying my car off in at least 2025. I'm dead set on it. I don't care how much money I have to put toward that car. I'm paying it off. Why? Because of the interest rate. I would get stuck paying more money in interest than basically what the car is worth. I'm not doing it. I drive a 2016 Honda Civic. I plan to have that car for the next 10, 20 years and even probably give it to my kids, because right now it only has I've put on a couple thousand miles. It only has 58,000 miles on it right now. So imagine 10 years, my kids are going to be able to drive that car until it's fucking 400,000 miles. Let's be real. I'm so about living below my means. I know that having a car payment from not having one before is inconvenient, and that $450 a month could have went towards something better. But that's where it's I had to make a stupid decision, but at least it wasn't a crazy stupid decision, because why is the average car payment $700? Why are y'all paying $800 a month for your car? That is so insane to me. I remember my first car that I bought with a loan was $237 a month, and then when I refinanced it, it was $177. And then after that, I just kept paying extra every single month to pay it off, because I was well, I have the money to do so fuck it. I don't want to have a car payment anymore. But a lot of people don't care, because people care more about driving something flashy than driving something reliable. I specifically said I was either going to get a Honda or a Toyota, and I got a Honda. I plan on having my car regardless of how much money I make forever. I don't plan on getting a new car anytime soon, because there's no reason to. And if I do get a car, it's going to be a business car, and it's going to be a write-off, because it will be over 2,000 pounds when I start my business. Yes. I don't even want to talk about the insurance, because I have gap insurance, which also helps, because if I get in an accident, like the bank pays majority of it because it's a Honda. Hondas are so reliable, so obviously. And then on top of that, my insurance, especially the insurance that I have to have through my bank because it's a financed car, is $1,000 less deductible, all that other stuff. Ooh, that shit adds up, okay? Last month I paid $450 for my car insurance. This month it went down a little bit because it like rolled over into one basically. I don't fucking know. Now it's like $373, but coming up I have my speeding ticket getting dropped off, so that is going to significantly, hopefully, drop it down because it's been 3 years since then, so yay. But to say all that is, do I wish that I would have gotten a cheaper car? Yes. But is it worth me paying now, obviously paying now, paying the car off, having a $450 car payment, sacrificing that, but then within the year of 2025 being able to just pay my car off clean and not having to worry about it anymore and being able to have a less insurance? And like I said, living below my means and not trading in my car, not getting a new one for anything. I will maintain that car until I drive it into the road, which will be 10 plus years down the road. Again, to reiterate, this is all my doing without any help. I didn't have any help from my mom, and that kind of ties into why she didn't help me with school, because I was hard-headed and just got a car. Oh well, I'm stuck paying it, like come on now. But what I'm trying to say is like, this is the reality of what a lot of people are going through. I don't know if y'all saw that one thing where this girl was paying $490 a month for 327 months. That is over 20 years. That's a mortgage on a house. You are paying like what, $150,000 for that one car that's worth maybe $30,000, and people are so gun-ho on getting the newest cars. You don't need that. You don't need that. You are living above your means. And this is why I say, everybody says I'm broke, I'm broke. You're broke because you're living above your means. You're broke because people want to flex, and we don't need to flex. Like, and I know I could be rambling, and this video is probably going to be very long, but there's just so much to say about how people spend their money versus how they talk about being broke. You just don't know how to budget or save or put money away. That's your issue. You can go without the TJ Maxx. You can go without going to Target. You can go without getting a wax for a little bit if that helps you save that extra $50 to pay off your credit card debt. But instead, I need to maintain, I need to do this, I need to go get my nails done every 2 weeks. No, you don't. You can sacrifice those little things in order to be able to afford them in the future. Like I said as well, I'm incredibly grateful that I was able to basically get a full ride scholarship and full ride paid for at least my first year at a new school that's even more expensive. But one thing that I do want to say is scholarships are out there. People just aren't willing to look for them. There are so many advisors, TikTok, YouTube, all these scholarships that you could apply for. Yeah, it's an essay. Yeah, it's whatever. But that 1 hour that you could spend on an essay that could possibly get you $1,000 to go towards school, where you don't have to worry about that and you don't have to worry about taking out loans, just do that. Luckily, my high school set me up decently to be able to go to the U, and I didn't have to pay any money out of pocket, and they paid me to go to school. That is what I'm saying. Do good in school. It will reflect that when it comes time to go to college. You will be looked at as, okay, they're academically, whatever, they care about their grades. They will probably do the same in college, and then have that be a reflection as well. Being poor also helps because FAFSA comes in clutch. I will say that being poor helps a little bit more than being quote unquote middle class. But like I said, I was so fucking persistent when it came to being like, no, I'm not being in any debt at all when it comes to school and when it comes to taking out student loans, because yeah, you don't have to pay that money in school, but as soon as school ends, all that interest is gonna start building up. I remember somebody said that their loans was like $180,000 or something like that. They were paying it off for like 5 years, and it only went down, I think, like maybe $3,000-$4,000. Why? Because of the interest. Interest gets people so bad that they don't realize how much it's gonna fuck them over in the future. Come on, y'all. Afterpay and Klarna, Affirm, all those other apps are so predatory. They're getting our asses. They are getting our asses. And I've been a victim. I had to delete the app because that's how bad it got. I'm like, oh, Afterpay it. I'll just Afterpay it. Bitch, you don't need it. All those gym clothes, majority of my gym clothes I did buy in bulk, and like I had the money. But like come, I'd say probably like when I started living alone and I was like, oh, I want this. Oh, I want this. I did cut back financially. That's why you guys haven't seen any hauls, because with what money? But what I say to that is Afterpay gon' get you. It's gonna get you. Because I remember having an extra $50 and being like, damn, I can't even spend it because it has to go towards Afterpay. And that is where they get you. You never know, especially with having to use those buy now, pay later apps, that you don't know what could happen within the next 2 weeks that you unfortunately have to pay for. If you didn't know, and this is why I'm filming on this specific camera, my Canon M100 broke. I don't know what happened. It said card reader error. I took it into the store. It said the pins were bent and it's gonna cost $300 to $400. Take a month to fix, and at that point, not even know if it'll be able to fix. So at that point, I have to replace my whole camera. And luckily, I'm grateful enough that I've had this camera for years on end, just in case anything were to happen. This is what I mean for me personally, where I invest in technology because technology can be used every single day, and not necessarily that the value will go up. It does depreciate, obviously, because new technology is always coming out, but it's still good enough. This Canon T5i is still good enough quality to be able to film my YouTube videos and be able to take my OOTDs for my fitness account. If I wanted to be financially irresponsible, I would have went out, bought a camera with no money. I would have used the money that I would have used on bills for a new camera because I felt like I needed to get it right away. That scarcity mindset is what is going to get a lot of us in trouble. And I almost even tried to buy a camera, but the universe was like, bitch, this is not your time. Save up for it properly. So that's what I've been doing. I now have, I think, $260 saved up, and my goal is around like $400, just based off of what I've been seeing on the Canon M100s and how much they go for. So I'm saving up. I'm also saving up for the Mauna Leo concert, Chicago, driving there, you know, paying for stuff over there, and then all the bills that I have coming up before that concert. So it's just been go, 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 go. But I've been working so much because I know that I want certain things, and those certain things require sacrifice. Am I tired? Do I have schoolwork? Yes. But I would rather sacrifice those things now to be able to have the experience without the stress of feeling like I'm in debt. And this is what I mean by those little apps. I remember, oh my God, I was tweaking out to my sister Soroya because Afterpay, one thing about them, if you have more than one card on there, they will take money from every single card until they get their money. And so I woke up to them saying that my payment was late, even though they had taken it from my other card. Then I had to ask my sister for money to pay the payment, but it had already taken it. So now I was out money because I owed my sister money because I thought that the Afterpay payment hadn't gone through. And if you know anything about Afterpay, if you don't pay the payment, I think like within a week or so, it drops your approved amount of what you can even spend, and they don't trust your ass. So obviously I'm not trying to go through that, and I'm like scrambling on what I have to do. I'm a server. I live shift to shift. So it's like however much money I make on that one shift, that can go towards that. But that is what was getting me in the hole. I'm like, okay, I want these leggings, I want this, this, and this, but come the next month, I'm like, damn, I have an extra $50, but it has to go towards Afterpay. And this is unfortunately the reality of a lot of people doing the buy now, save later, pay later, whatever, because they want it now instead of just saving up properly. And this ties back into my title. If you can't afford it, you shouldn't be buying it. And I know I sound like a hypocrite because I have a car payment, but literally if you go watch my video about me getting my car, I talk about how my transmission literally blew out in my Nissan Sentra and I did not have $2,000 or the time to continue fixing that car up. I had put in probably over $2,000, $3,000 in fixing that car and maintaining it for the 2 years that I've had. I'd rather do that and put that much money into a nicer car and paying off my car. The reliability will last me 10 plus years to come. So I'm willing to have that small sacrifice now of having a car payment, but knowing that I'm purposefully going to overpay my car payment in order to pay it off quicker. So I feel like especially with being a server, the mindset of money is very, very different. Being a server, at least at night and at a decently scaled restaurant, you can make anywhere between $250 a night to over $400. Especially if you double, you can take that money and make $600, $700 in a day. So with having that mindset, a lot of people, especially people who are workaholics or go, they're like, I can make this much money and it can go towards this, and they just kind of have a spending mentality because they know that they can make it back up within that shift. That is a dangerous mindset, and I am guilty of it because I know, okay, if I work this amount, technically I can kind of like make up in my mind, okay, hopefully this weekend is good. I can make this amount, this amount, this amount on this, you know, and kind of estimate what I would make in a weekend, and then be able to apply that on all my other expenses, on what I want to buy, things I want to do. You know what I mean? Personally, me, I always go into the mindset of work of, you never know when somebody could tip you $100 or $1,000. That's why I treat everybody like they're gonna tip me $1,000, because I want money. What I say by that like serving mentality is like, some servers can be very irresponsible with money because they know, oh, I can just work a double the next day. Oh, I can just work this day and be able to make up money. That's where it gets dangerous as well, especially if you're able to take your money home at night. I know some restaurants, they like, you declare your money, but then it gets added onto a paycheck. I personally like being able to take cash home so I can do cash stuffing. If you don't know what cash stuffing is, I highly recommend it. If you are someone who makes tips, or you just have a majority of your money in cash, this is my cash stuffing book that I got almost a year ago now. Let me see when, no, I got it a year ago, because my first time putting money in here was August 6th of 2023. Yes. So it's been over a year, and as you can see, this is why I love it so much. This is why I love it so much, because I have been able to track all my money, all my income, everything, every single dollar that I have had coming in, coming out, despite my 2-week paychecks that range from about $50 all the way to around like $150, just because I'm working a lot less during the school year. I don't really count that money. I usually use that money towards gas, utilities, other like necessities like groceries. So I don't really count that money, but when it comes to cash that I take home at the end of the night, baby girl, every single dime is getting counted and being accounted for in this book. I like this because, especially with me right now, it teaches me to budget my money. It's teaching me to budget my money, more specifically knowing where every single dollar is going and how I can properly allocate it for not only the things that I want, but also how to just live a better life in the future. So right now, you can see like I've used up the first page, the second page, and then this is the third page. And this is like literally how I track rent, my car payment, all that other stuff. If you see this, like this shows every single time I've put money in, taken money out, and it all says rent, because that is how I track my rent. I just like to be very smart when it comes to rent and being able to just pay it, because that's what's needed. You know what I mean? More specifically, I want to show y'all how I've been budgeting for my new camera. When I want something, ignore the weed, but when I want something, I'm going to budget for it. So this just shows like, you know, me putting money towards my camera, having the money in here and being able to like physically look at it, feel it, be like, okay, this is $200 worth. Like that is genuinely what has helped me save so much money, be able to go on vacations, more importantly, because like I said, I pay my vacations in full, baby girl. Nothing is being put on a credit card, because like I've said, if you can't afford it, you shouldn't be buying it. And that's why, like, you know, I save up my money over a period of time, because that is what delayed gratification is. Let me just take y'all through my expenses really quick so you understand why I take myself on vacations but also get myself tattoos. Right now, my rent is $1,400, and considering that I am in Minneapolis in a 2-bedroom duplex with a backyard, a minute away from the train station. I was down the street, you know, from the U of M, but I'm not anymore. I'm 15 minutes away from my school. I'm 15 minutes away from work, and you know, $1,400 in the city of Minneapolis for all that. I'm not complaining, and I also would probably never move, just because of how I know everything else is 10 times more expensive for literally less. Car payment, $450. Car insurance around $350. It's probably gonna go down because my speeding ticket's getting taken off. Utilities range from around $200 to $300 depending on the season. In the winter time, the gas bill can be crazy because I do live in an older duplex, so it takes like a little bit more heating to do. In the summer, the electric will be more just because the AC is constantly going, so that also is a factor. Internet is $50. Phone bill is $64. So basically I have those like 6 payments: rent, my 2, you know, car payments, car payment, car insurance, utilities, phone, internet, and then like gas, and then groceries. So those 8 expenses, those are, you know, once I pay my car off, boom. So that's one less one, and we'll be at 7. Obviously, I have to pay for my phone, internet, all the other reoccurring things. I also budget weed in there because that's like my medication. So I basically set a little bit of money aside for weed, you know, because like I said, if you have a medication that you have to pay for, that's your medication. That's my medication. So with saying all that, it's a lot of fucking money, especially with being a college student and working and going to school. It's a lot, and the burnout is coming. soon. Which is why I go on vacations to prevent even further burnout. It's almost like a reward, like, bitch, you did it. Go enjoy your time without having to worry about work, without having to worry about, pleasing other people. Here you go. Again, I'm incredibly grateful that, December going on, I'll have a lot more financial help. And with that is why I plan on becoming financially free and, building up my credit score even more. My credit score is pretty decent for, my credit history and the age that it's at. Since I don't really have any forms of credit card, I more so just have Chime. If you don't know about Chime, I actually really like Chime because I use their credit booster card like for everything. If I'm getting gas, if I'm paying a bill, like majority of my bills are paid on that Chime card, and then my rent is just paid by going to the bank and then just Venmoing my landlord. Other than that, I want to try my best to becoming financially free in 2025, and here's exactly how I plan on doing that. I plan on vouching to pay at least $1,000 towards my car every single month and getting that interest down and getting, paying more towards the principal than the actual interest and being able to pay that car down so I don't owe anybody. Staying with that car and not trading it in, not getting another car loan because having that car payment is just not needed at the moment, especially if I want to continue to live below my means to be able to maximize any profit that I have coming in and wanting to invest it out. I also plan on paying my collections. Again, that is probably the one main thing stopping me from getting a credit card, just because of how I know, yes, I could use the $300 that I would just say that here, take it, just get this off my record. I'm not in that place right now, but coming soon, yes, especially starting off 2025. When I turn 22, I want to be able to say that I have no debt, nothing to owe anyone or anything like that. So that's something that I'm really going to be trying hard to work towards. I especially want to start my Roth IRA and having a high yield savings account because of all the extra money that I'll have. I'll be able to specifically every 2 weeks, maybe every 1 weekend or something like that, have an amount of money that I have extra to be able to just put in a high yield savings account and have that compound interest over time to be able to really, like I said, maximize my money and know that I'm investing properly. But getting one of those like safer credit cards that don't have a ton of interest, maybe like the Discover Student card, something along those lines, starting off slow, just paying for gas and, little groceries or little things here and there, and paying my balance in full every single month. Never having a balance rollover, never having anything, and using my credit card like it is a debit card. I'm not gonna just be playing, oh my God, this is free money, because it's not. Interest is a bitch. And on most credit cards, you have around 20 to 30% interest. No, absolutely not. I'm paying my balance in full. Y'all will not be getting an extra cent from me. Thank you. If I want something, it's gonna have to be bought in full. If I want a new pair of leggings, if I want gym clothes, if I want something tech related, it either has to be budgeted or paid in full. Like y'all saw with my camera, that broke probably early September, mid-September. So with going without a camera that I used everywhere, vlogging, all that other stuff for over a month, it's been kind of hard, but it's something that I've had to do because that is not the most important thing that needs to get done. Especially when I have a camera like this, use your resources. One of my manifestations is everything you need, you already have. Everything you have is all that you need. Anything you desire, you will receive because your reality is created by you. Those first two lines, everything you need, you already have it. You just have to do it. And this is like going into, oh, I can only start when I have this, this, and this. I started recording YouTube videos on my mom's phone, her Android phone, way back in the day. And here I am now filming on a camera that I've had for what? How old was I when I bought this camera? 14? I've had this camera for over 7 years now, and it still works perfectly fine. And you guys are still getting good quality. Is it the best? No. But y'all aren't here for specifically the quality. You're here to hear my opinions. You don't need the most expensive things. A lot of creators who are like the most down to earth and all that other stuff, they keep their videos simple, straight to the point. They don't need all the fancy editing and equipment and all that other stuff, which is why another reason why I haven't upgraded to Final Cut Pro. I don't feel the need to. I personally, at this point, feel like with the videos that I make, and maybe down the line, yes, that is something that I'll invest in and learn how to work. But right now, I love LumaFusion. I love that it was a $30 program that I've had for over a year now, almost 2 years. And I know it like the back of my head. So now that when I go in and edit a video, it's this, and then I can finish editing a video in 1 to 2 days, depending on how long it takes. So that's also another thing. Like I said, if I want something, it needs to be bought in full. It has to be budgeted for and accounted for, not just willy-nilly. If I really want something, budget for it. If I, 6 months down the line, 3 months down the line, I don't want it anymore, I never really needed it. That's also why I feel like I'm not in debt, because I don't get sucked into that fucking TikTok shop bullshit. TikTok Shop has taken over my TikTok. You like one thing or even watch a whole video, they are trying to convince you to get a walking pad, a fucking vacuum, the African net sponge, the fucking edge control. All these things I don't need at the moment. And y'all aren't gonna suck me into it. I do need a dash cam though, because watching that video of the insurance fraud, y'all niggas aren't gonna play with me. But like I said, there's so many ways that people irresponsibly spend their money and then say they're broke. You're broke because you don't know how to save. Another thing is I'm going to continue going thrift shopping because I love thrift shopping, and I don't need like the newest of the new. I think more importantly I'd invest in shoes, but like again, I wear the same maybe 5 pairs of shoes, and if anything 3 pairs of shoes more often. I wear my high top Converse, my low top Vans, and my slippers, my fake Birkenstocks. Those are the 3 main pairs of shoes that I wear. The other shoes like my high top Vans, my low top Vans are all I own because they are reliable, they match everything, and they go with everything. I don't care about having the newest Jordans. I don't care about having expensive essential hoodies and all that other stuff. I can't afford it. Why would I buy it? Like I said, I spend money on merch, okay? I got majority of the Flo Milli merch, and when I go to Chicago for Mona Leo, I'm buying her merch, going to the concert, hopefully turning up with her in the club. We all fam. But that's what I mean is like, I plan for stuff that I want to do, but I plan for it responsibly. You see me go on a vacation, my bills are paid. I pay my bills are paid. Don't worry what I'm doing, Bookie. I got the money to do so. Okay? Okay. I purposefully live below my means so I can take these nice vacations, so I can get these expensive tattoos, because that's what I want to do. And especially with me knowing the knowledge that I know now, I'm grateful for it because it's setting me up for future Reese. That bitch knows to not overspend money because it's not worth it. So why would I? And I also... It's 3:30? Oh, I gotta leave for work. Okay. Oh my god. Y'all, I have been sitting here fucking yapping. It's 3:30. I gotta go to work. Okay? Okay. Anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye, y'all.